My dad and I have started a Youth to Gold challenge. A challenge that could take us 13 seasons to complete, where we are only allowed to sign teenagers and not allowed to use players 30 or above from the second season. But if one of us is to win the Champions League before the 13 seasons, it's an instant win. If not, it's down to whoever accumulates the most points from being more successful or selling players we have bought for huge profits. Basically, Youth to Gold is buying young talents and making money for your club. And on this journey, Dad and I have found ourselves in France at Nantes and Lorient. My recent win in Season 7 of the Europa League I thought would help me catch up on points. But then Dad selling Lucic for what could be £100 million profit soon will give him 10 points extra, and that's what he needs to stay a distance in front. So I need a big season with my new players to turn things around in Season 8 of Youth to Gold. Because Dad is currently 33 to 23 ahead without the extra 5 points of Lucic if he plays 13 more games for Liverpool. I knew even though I won the Europa League though that I needed to switch systems again because my league form was so bad, so I fancy a 3-striker formation as I have a lot of options in the squad and players returning from loan spells. I have 5 options for next season and I generally can't pick which ones are the best choices, which is only a good problem to have. I do also have to cater for Diallo, who has developed into a star, and therefore at 28, it is time to sell Junior Krupi, and I've welcomed in bids for £61 million to kick things off this window. And from offering him out, he left the club immediately to PSG for £61 million to give me a good amount of transfer budget. Dad set his eyes on a new centre-back from Brazil and put in an offer which was accepted for the 18-year-old. And again, the business was done rather quickly and he was signed. No wasted time either, as a ball-winning midfielder from Portugal who was already playing in France signs for him as well. Not that this is a replacement for Junior Krupi, but I already have a player in mind on my shortlist from Argentina who I want to mould into a CDM, and he signed from Racing Club. But there was another player at Anderlecht who I also thought would be a smart signing, another CDM who's aggressive and has great potential. At the back, I signed a left-footed centre-back from Argentina, but my plans are to loan him out and to be able to challenge for first-team football. And that's because I was waiting for an even better centre-back from Portugal to go into my first team called Rodriguez. He's at Sporting and £25 million was the cost to bring in a cracking player with good potential. To keep up with the scouting, we both asked for more scouts and both requests were granted. But my eyes propped up when rumours of a huge tycoon takeover came into the spotlight, which could be massive for the club. Unfortunately, however, this fell through after just a few weeks. Well, Dad, I thought at one point I was going to have loads of money to spend.
It was like he was going to have over 100 million, so done me a favour, really.
Yeah, the
fell through.
Takeover fell through.
Yeah.
Never happened eventually. Still managed to spend a little bit of money though, because I did sell Junior Krupi.
Yeah.
He's gone. From the very beginning, he's been my best player, but he is now gone. And I think, although I didn't naturally replace him with a centre attacking midfielder, I've got Amad Diallo, who's filling that boot right now. Matthias Moraga is a player that I think is going to be better for my CDM, so having the money to bring him in to begin with, £11.5 million, I didn't have anything really to spend. And then Samuel Vial, £22 million, I'm not going to lock him in, I'm just going to hope he picks up game time, and then if he doesn't, I need to assess that next season, because I spent a bit of money on him, he does need some game time to be better. Tried to loan him, but Sensi was a player that I actually did loan. He went to Bastia, he's a left-footed centre-back. Giving him game time is crucial because there's no way he's getting in because I signed a better centre-back.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Jorge Rodriguez.
Looks good, doesn't
He does. 18-year-old Portuguese player. I'm going to nail him in because I do think he's 6'3". He just needs to work on his positioning as a centre defender right now. He could be one of my best in a couple of years. Of course, I lost one of my best a few seasons ago. That I've kind of missed him ever since.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find a replacement still. Leonardo's just a really good backup goalkeeper, so we might see him at some point. We might not. But I don't know. The new system is in place. I am going to lock in a few players and just see how they play out. Even going to lock in a new goalkeeper. Yeah. It's a risk.
Chance, yeah. But with keepers, that's the challenge you've got to take with them, isn't it?
Yeah.
The only way you sort of progress them.
He has a higher potential than the goalkeeper I have been using in Kubala, so that's the reason why I'm going for that. I'm thinking long term.
Yeah.
Although I am chasing points, of course, I need a better goalkeeper at some point. And Jose Lucas, who I brought in last season at right back, he got a good season under his belt with 8 assists, and 4 goals. So I'm hoping for some more of that. That's why he's getting locked in. So, Dad, let's have a look at what you've done as well, because you have spent a bit of money, not massive amounts, but you have spent some. Brought in a ball-winning midfielder.
Yeah, strengthen the midfield up a little bit. Like we said, it's quite hard to sort of like buying these players that sort of fit right into your team, and this is about as close as I'll get to finding one that'll fit right in. So, yeah, I'm hoping big things for this lad.
Yep, okay. And then we got Sergio Novic. So you've also gone for a Brazilian player, but this time you've gone for a defender.
Yeah.
Good centre-back, 6'1", good with both feet.
That's the main thing with this guy, with both feet. So it just covers both sides of the centre-back, doesn't you? Left or right. So, yeah, I'm quite happy with this one as well.
Obviously, he's lacking a lot of mentals right now, but you've put him in the second team. With the game time, he has that good potential. You just never know. He might be like a first teamer in the future.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, where they've got both good feet, Akos Kun.
This was quite funny because this guy's a right-footed player but plays left back. Yeah, and he's a good left back as well. But if I get any injuries in the centre backs, he'll just slide across into that position as well. So
yeah, well, not this season because he's out on loan still at Pushkas Academia.
Well, they're playing him, so I'm quite happy with them to sort of carry on with that then.
Giving him first team football with good training facilities. That's the most important thing. He gets to play in that unbelievable stadium too, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Then finally,
one
another
player who plays both sides
feet
as well, and good with both feet. Yeah, so yeah, quite happy with the 2 buy-ins, the 2 purchases I've got there.
Yeah, cheap as well.
Yeah.
Not too bad in price. Tactically, then, so you're going back to this style of formation, but you've switched it slightly.
Yeah, just changed that one sort of position there and just put them forward to just sort of fill the gap in behind. Really, I've got a good striker there. He's good. I've probably got 1 or 2 years left out of him. Same as the goalkeeper, 1 or 2 years left out of them too. So hopefully they'll both have good seasons and I can sell them quite a bit then, really. So yeah, I've got to be looking for a keeper and I've got to be looking for a striker soon. So hopefully I can still do the business with them at the moment.
Okay, well, let's have a look at the schedule so far then. So the start of the season, you've had 4 wins from 4.
I'm pleased with that start, I must admit.
Scoring goals.
Yeah, look at the goals going in there, 4-6, 4-4. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, okay. Champions League fixtures then. You've got Manchester United in there. Bayern Munich at 1.2.
No. Yeah, I've got to sort of like hopefully get 1 or 2 draws or something like that in those last 2 games, even though they're away. Hopefully get 2 wins there just to sort of push me through. But I'm hoping to just sort of get into the draw, yeah.
Okay, let's have a look at my schedule then. So coming off the back of playing this rather attacking style of play, of course, I won the Europa League last season. I got battered in the UEFA Super Cup, 4-0 against Liverpool. I also lost 3-0 to PSG and Le Havre, who have Rasmus Højlund. They've got quite a good team, actually. So
the Liverpool and the PSG results just shows that the difference between our teams and the top teams at the moment.
There's still a gap.
Yeah.
There is still a gap.
Yeah.
I'm beating Reims 7-2 though, which is nice. 2-1 against Caen, Canal and Lyon as well, which isn't a bad result. They've been in and around the top.
That is.
Yeah. My Champions League fixtures after winning the Europa League got Copenhagen, Besiktas to start off with. Then it's Arsenal, finishing with Liverpool and Lazio.
I've got an easier finish. You've got a difficult finish, really. Yeah. You've got to get your business done. The 3 middle games, you've got to win them 3 middle games, I feel.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, then, but I'm trailing in the points. I need a big season. Let's see what happens. Well, my first opportunity for a point was against Dad, and a penalty put me in the lead. However, a second half that was much different to the first. Dad dominated, scoring a beauty from Marin to begin with, and securing the 2-1 win with a comeback from behind with another corker. Despite that, I was still on a good run, and we sat just a point behind Dad in the league and in 3rd place, and PSG aren't too far ahead either. In the Champions League, I somehow managed to sneak into the top 8 with some cracking wins and good goal difference. Meanwhile, Dad had to rely on an extra tie against Barcelona in the playoffs, which is where he unfortunately became unstuck against the Catalan side, losing 6-2 on aggregate and exiting the Champions League. The Coupe de France was once again missing PSG in the quarter-final, as I was knocked out while my dad progressed, both because of penalties. And after defeating PSV in the round of 16 of the Champions League, I also had to face Barcelona next in the quarterfinals. This Barcelona side is fantastic, however, and although I was slightly closer than dad to them, I still fell to a 3-2 defeat on aggregate. One thing we could be chuffed about though was that I defeated dad in the return fixture when he came to my stadium, 3-1. And that 3 points was also a good end of the season, helped me push a second place finish over the line and finally a place above dad, which gains me more points. However, just when I think I'm going to pull back some points on my dad, he goes and scores a stoppage time winner in the Coupe de France final against Marseille, picking up yet another 5 points himself. Well, it's the first time, Dad, I finished in second place.
Yeah.
This time you're 3 points behind me in third.
It was all down to one game. Look, I lost 6, you lost 5.
Yeah.
3 points in it.
Absolutely. We beat each other, so we didn't take any points away from each other,
No.
but we did gain a point each. I just gained 2 more because, of course, I finished slightly higher in the league. However, it killed it because you won the cup, of course, beating Marseille in the final, which meant you get an extra lot of points from that, 5 points in fact, which means be finishing higher in the league. You think, oh, you're starting to catch up, Luke. No, I'm now down by 3 points. So, yeah, that's not fantastic. Not to mention, we still need to check to see whether the transfer of Lujic has meant you've gained an extra 5 points.
Should have done that, shouldn't he? But what, he had to play another 4 or 5 games or something like that?
You'd like to think so.
Yeah.
However, he hasn't.
Hey?
He played 9 games in total, 5 starts, 4 off the bench. Still, the transfer is nowhere near enough.
It was 13 games he had to play, wasn't it? So it was make it 20, wasn't it? That's right, yeah.
So if we're looking at the clause, you still haven't received that money yet. 19 million after 4 more league games he needs to play, which means I cannot give you another 5 points.
No, it's just sat there waiting for me, though, isn't it? I'm happy with that. It looks like I'm going to get it next season, so hey-o.
Or will he leave Liverpool and screw you over because he isn't getting the game time? If he's unhappy and he decides to leave, and he never plays again, that would be so so funny, wouldn't it? But there we go. All right, so I mean, let's have a look at the Champions League. You got knocked out by Barcelona in the knockout playoff round.
You don't want to go against Barcelona when you're in the knockout stage, do you? Really?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't even go in that because my league phase was that good.
Well
surprisingly.
Done.
So 4-0 against Liverpool was the only game I lost. Yeah, 7-0 on aggregate. We're counting. I did draw to Arsenal and Marseille.
That's a good result.
Yeah, and the 5-1. I mean, stuff Lazio 4-0. Really happy.
That's
with
a
that.
result. That.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're down in 18th place, Dad, when you did qualify 4-4. So lost against United, Juve, Munich, and
3 of those games
Salzburg.
I expected to lose.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm happy though.
Didn't concede in the games you won though, which is positive.
Yeah.
Really good. So obviously I went into the round of 16. I knocked out PSV Eindhoven and got as far as Barcelona in the quarterfinals, only losing 3-2, so it's not as bad as what I hoped. But well done for winning the cup side, the French Cup. I was knocked out by Reims in the quarterfinal there, unfortunately, on penalties, where you were progressing on penalties.
They're a good side.
Yeah. And if you look at that point, again, no PSG to be found at the quarterfinal stage.
They don't do well in that cup
They
stage.
are terrible at this cup. The past winners, obviously we've won it 3 times. They haven't won it since 2031. We're now 5 years on from that. I don't think they've even got to the semi-final in that stage, because we haven't beat them in the final. Look, there's nobody there who's beat them in the final.
Who beat them this year then?
So I mean, they must have dropped out again quite early, because there's the 11th round. They're not in that. The 10th round, you did. Yeah, you knocked him out in the 10th round.
I deserve to win it then, really.
You did. Right, let's look at the goals then, because there was a lot for my young strike force of 20 and 21-year-olds and one 23-year-old.
Yeah.
And the 23-year-old's the one that's playing the least amount. He's unhappy, but he's still fantastic, to be honest. He got 9 goals and 5. Ahmed Diallo, of course, kind of replaced Junior Krupi as my main player. I
can see that being a 10-pointer there for you there.
I mean, he's 98 million now. He started the season we took over, so he came through the youth academy in my first season, which means anything I sell him for is complete profit. And points-wise, that could be big for me if I manage to sell him for 100 million.
It's a 10-pointer, isn't it?
Yeah, so I need to hold out for that 100 million. I can't sell him for 50. That's beyond what I should. But he's only got 2 years left. So I need to be really careful. I need to be smart, if anything.
Well, you need to get him on another 5-year contract, don't you? Really?
Yeah, if he wants to, because at the minute he is unhappy. He wants to leave. He wants to move to a stronger squad. And I'm looking at it going, we just finished second. Speaking of strong squads, our strike force, I mean, we've got some players in here. Miguel Lopez, 18 goals. We've got João Pereira, my 2 Portuguese lads, 18 and 19 there.
Yeah.
Antti Capula got 20 and 10 assists. Look at
He looks really good, doesn't he?
I'd say he's probably the best one.
Yeah.
My Croatian, because then my Chilean striker, almost as good.
He's 18 composure.
Yeah. Good vision as well. He got 24 goals. He actually scored the most goals this season. There's a couple of players who would definitely, right now, if you're going by value, would give me at least 5 points.
Oh.
But I don't really want to sell them.
No.
That's it.
You'd be silly too, but at that age,
yeah.
you've got a couple more seasons than them yet. Easy, haven't you, really?
Absolutely. Moraga, in terms of a defensive midfielder, has developed quite nicely. I'm really happy with that season, so he's now a mainstay there. Jose Lucas, I was definitely right in putting him at right back and nailing him in. 24 assists this season. Huge, really. And my centre-back, the Portuguese centre-back I brought in, lovely bit of development there. We're going to take a look at his actual development progress, which we won't do for all the players, but it's just nice to see across one season that a lot of ones already, which is good to see. Now, Dad, well, actually, transfer budget for me, 19 million. Oh, yeah, the keeper, of course, I locked in as well.
Interesting to see what he played like.
Not bad, not bad. You're looking at him going like, obviously the hand and reflex is not good, but what I'm looking at here is the mental attributes being that good. Because last season, he conceded 69 goals. I remember because it was a naughty number. This keeper only conceded 46. Big difference, really.
Half.
23 goals.
Yeah.
Your maths is off.
Yeah.
23 goals, 2/3.
I thought you said 96.
Yeah. No, 69 is the naughty number.
Wrong.
Yeah. Whatever you do in your sex life. Right, so...
Don't go there.
Anyway, moving on swiftly. I've got £19 million. Nance, let's have a look at your squad. Because goals-wise, Gramada is up there with 36. He's had another cracking season.
Yeah, that's good. I needed them to do that, really. I still think I'm going to have one more season with him, I think.
You got 30 and 30 in the
I'm not
league.
going to get any points from him, so I must just keep him.
That's the trouble.
1 or 2 more seasons, I think.
You did not buy him in. He comes from the youth academy, but he was already at the club when you signed. 30 and 30, not bad at all.
Pleased with that.
Winderkill got 15. You got Alcorta, who got a good amount of goals there. So Serbin's developed into obviously your first team player. He's 26. Roman Jean, who obviously you bought in replacement to Lujic, has come in and done really well. Speaking of Lujic, will he not play enough games next season for you to get that 5 points? It's going to be interesting. Any other players you want to have a quick gander at?
Marin,
yeah. I mean, he's actually the first time he's found a spot in your squad.
Yeah, he was the one I changed when he really, so yeah.
He's come in, he's been playing some games. I mean, if you're looking at form-wise, he's playing a lot in the box-to-box midfielder role, interestingly enough. And if you're going by progress, the attributes that you've had since all time, the development has been mental. But if you're just going off this season, so the last 12 months, a good amount.
Yeah.
A good amount. So you're looking at basically a player that you weren't really anticipating on using.
No, I mean, you look at him and you think he's going to be a striker, don't you? He's 17 for finishing, but no, he's more of a midfield player. So.
Ended up playing 33 games.
Yeah.
The Joe Lington, who can finish, of your squad. All right, but your transfer budget looking quite £13 million squad-wise. You're looking all right, though.
Yeah.
And you won the point. Well, you won the cup, sorry, which gains you more points.
Yeah.
Speaking of... let's count them up. So for season number 8, Omega Luke gained 3 points and Omega Dad gained 6, meaning the total points are now Omega Luke with 26 and Omega Dad with 39. And so as we push into season number 9 of Youth to Gold, once again, I have an uphill battle to catch Dad. Dad begins his summer as he always does, finding more players to add to his squad. But for once, I had a bit of money to spend and I was excited to spend it on some good potential players like this Belgian centre-back. But that's when Chelsea came in with a huge offer for Amad Diallo, and I instantly knew I had to take advantage of the interest with just 2 years remaining of his contract and try to secure 10 points with a £100 million transfer and they accepted. And just like that, my best player leaves the club, but I am 10 points better off for selling him. Dad, meanwhile, is having a quieter window and signing a future goalkeeper from Arsenal to replace Hoyenhall, as well as a really cheap striker from Portugal who could be the future replacement for Gramada. But I was struggling to replace Diallo and sign players that are not quite as good as him at this point, but have decent potential. I was reverting back to my old tactics as well of attribute searching for players and found an absolute gem in South Africa, getting the deal signed for just £1.2 million in what seemed too good to be turning down. However, more bids for my striker started to come in, and I was considering it due to how many we have on our side. But I thought about it and I decided to hold on to see if they come in for any bigger offers, which I then look to win more points in the long run with him. But I'm also possibly looking for a new future goalkeeper as I continue to spend the Diallo cash. And with both Dad and I starting the season really well, the question was then asked if we have what it takes to go on and win the league this season, especially because this early on, PSG were getting battered 4-0 by Lille. Now, Amad Diallo, gone. However, I did make sure I got that 10 points in.
Yeah, you had 100 million. Well,
Cleared
upfront, didn't you?
Yeah, cleared it. 117. I made sure the upfront cost was 100 and any additional things went over it.
Yeah.
So it could actually got to 130. And he started off quite well in the Premier League for Chelsea too. But yeah, 10 points from Amad Diallo. Thank you very much. We're going to miss him and I'm not going to be able to replace him straight off the bat.
That's going to be hard to replace him. So
yeah. I mean, I think I did quite well. Some of the players I brought in, I think, are quite good.
Yeah.
So, Side Wrecker come in as my first player, not to replace him at all, but comes in the second team as a Belgium defender, 18 years of age. Going to give him some first-team football at Auxerre. So, in the second division here. Already got an assist already. He's played 4 games, so I'm happy. He's going to play first-team football, and that's the main thing that I can give these players here, because right now, he wouldn't get into my first team.
No, not a chance, no.
Urkel is the player that I kind of replaced Amad Diallo in because he's actually a starting centre attacking midfielder for us, despite only being 2 stars. And he hasn't done too bad. 2 goals, 2 assists straight away for £8 million.
I think it's a great start.
Yeah, it's not bad at all, really. There's going to be a few players in here that I might feature in the first 11 who came in for quite cheap. Obviously, we highlighted this guy here from South Africa, a fantastic
Very good
player for the price of just £1.2 million. Won't be able to pronounce his name. Sotsetsi? Probably not.
That's one of the players when you look at him, we both look at you and go, oh, he's good.
Yeah.
And you're sort of like, you got to jump on it really.
For how like young and cheap they are.
Yeah.
Neil Harper loaned straight back to Sunderland because he is getting first team football, and I think again that's smart. I've brought 2 centre backs in who could be future starters who are still getting first team football.
Yeah.
Just need to make sure I keep
at a good level
that.
as well.
Yeah. Mikkel Hansen, £2.5 million, good right back. This one I'm kind of thinking might be the long-term replacement for Diallo because I actually think he's probably better than Urkel. If you're looking at how good his attributes are right now and where you are putting a centre attacking midfielder in terms of first touch, technique and passing,
yes,
really good.
3 top ones there, isn't it, really?
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
a midfielder.
So he's going in the second team this time round because I want to guarantee him first team football, whereas Urkel, I'm not going to lock him in. He might not get the first team football. There's a couple of strikers who can play centre attacking midfielder.
Yeah.
Ryan McGuinness is going to be, hopefully, a future goalkeeper. Number 1 as well, because I've loaned him out to Cam, but when I do best 11 pick, they actually pick him as my number 1, which I didn't realise until I already loaned him out. So never mind, but it was a good price for £15 million because the money I had was a lot, and then I finally managed to get Rivera for 500k after chasing him for the last 4 months.
Yeah, you did, didn't you? Yeah.
So eventually he
wasn't
decided it was a
interested,
good
was he?
move. No, 3 times I went for him and he was like, nope, not interested at all. And then finally it popped up on the 27th of August. He decided to join us. So I'm sticking with the same tactic, and the only player I am locking in is Jose Lucas because for some reason, after the amazing season he had last year, it still puts Ramovic in there. And he's okay, but I don't rate him as high as what I do Jose Lucas. So I'm kind of happy with that first team. Moraga goes straight in there, Rodriguez goes straight in there, and even Yashin Urkel goes up there as well. So my front 3
Oh, they're
They
combining.
can interchangeable.
Yeah, they're combining well, aren't they?
Yeah, and what I do like about it is when you put another one in, they still stay with the chemistry, which is quite nice. So I'm happy with that so far. Dad, let's have a look then, because you've had a quieter window because of the amount of money that I was spending compared to you, but you still brought in some players. And Cheat £2.5 billion, just one for the future, really.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Cheap cost, isn't it? Good natural fitness
that's what I'm
and
looking
determination.
for. Yeah.
Juan Ibanez, 6.75. Good right winger.
Yeah, might need him. So I've got him in for that price. Sort of like, hopefully he'll develop into a better player.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then these two, I think, are probably your best signings, because Chris Brady, you're looking at the future goalkeeper situation.
We know I've got to get another keeper in. This guy was the best one out there. I didn't want to buy him because he's an Arsenal player. Before you say it, I looked at him. I looked at him 3 times. Gone away from it. Looked for another one. Just come, and in the end, I got to go back to him. And I just said, "Yeah, I'll just buy this player."
If I was in your situation, I would have done exactly the same thing and buy him, because I think at 19 he's quality.
Yeah.
He's also quite good with both feet, which you don't rarely see. You see that quite rarely with goalkeepers.
Yeah.
He could be an easy number 1 replacement.
Well, I'll feel confident once I sell my keeper. I'll feel confident that I'm going to make him the number 1. So I might even lock him in one season with my keeper that I've got now still here.
Yeah.
And then the following season, sell my keeper.
Yeah. See how that goes.
Yeah.
Ricardo Felipe, though, for £1.5 million and loaning him out. This is, I think your best deal this summer.
Right on the end of the transfer deadline, I
Yeah.
just picked this player up. I think that's a good. Look at his finishing 17, off the ball 15. He's quick as well, so he's a little bit slow at the moment, but he'll get quicker. And he's both footed as well.
Natural fitness is all there. Attempts some overhead kicks. Love that.
Yes.
Got a goal already at Dijon.
Yeah.
In the 2nd division.
Pleased
So he's
with that.
playing first team football.
Yeah, he'll come back a better player.
So yeah, there we go. So all right, let's see then. Have a look at tactic. You are changing it up.
Well, I've just changed it a little bit. I bought a right winger, so I put a right winger in, but I want Martin to come across. And we've seen him last season. He played well in that position.
Yeah.
I'm going to lock him in that position. That's where I felt he was the better player for me.
As a ball winner.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at it and go, he's only 13 tackling, 20 aggression,
you gotta have that bit of
very
aggression.
good physical attributes, good teamwork and work rate, determination's high, decisions is 13, that's still quite high. For a ball winner, he's actually quite good.
Yeah, he's gonna break it all up, and then he's a good passer of the ball, so he can release it to the front 3 there. I've got all of them on attack as well after that.
He also has got himself a hat-trick at the start of the season, by the way, which is mental.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at the schedule then, because we're going to see that hat-trick is in the first game of the season. Mario Marin. There it is. 3, 9, and 26. Really good stuff. You've had a good start to the season until you face PSG.
I mean, that game there, all right. I don't expect to win that game on their pitch, so I'm quite happy with that game. It's the one after I was a bit disappointed with.
Yeah.
Especially being at home as well, to concede 3 goals. Shouldn't be doing that. And I scored a late goal as well, so I got hammered.
Yeah. Let's have a look at the Champions League. You've got Arsenal after stealing their young goalkeeper.
again.
Chelsea as well.
Yeah.
Ajax and Inter. Some tricky games.
There's some tricky games there, but I'm hoping that the games that I've got at home as well, if I win my home games, I feel that I'll go for it.
I agree. Okay, let's have a look at my schedule then. After starting off the season quite badly last year, it hasn't been too bad this season.
You haven't lost?
No, unbeaten. And the 2 teams I've drawn against, we know Saint Etienne, Tycoon Takeover, they got a lot of money.
Yeah.
They've done some great businesses in the past as well. And Lyon at home, they are a tricky side. They are a tricky side.
I mean, the only disappointed with that for you would be you're at home.
Not scoring, yeah.
Yeah,
Not
so-
scoring at home.
Yeah.
Defensively, we were solid until you get to like the ratings of my attacking players.
So
they had an off
You
day.
didn't play very well going forward. So
Yeah, imagine having 5 strikers and a decent centre attacking midfielder, and they all have a bad game.
Yeah.
Terrible for me, but there we go. Monaco away from home though, 5-2, but of course they've only just come back up. They were relegated at some point, which is hilarious. Not hilarious for Monaco people, but the fact that Monaco's such a big club and then went down, they have come back up now. Champions League fixtures for me then, let's see. So I've got Juve to kick things off, which is a difficult one away from home.
PSG.
Inter away from home. I've got PSG in there,
Yeah.
and I'm ending things in Munich.
That's not an easy draw, mate. That's not
at
an
all.
easy draw. You got a couple of games that you think, oh, you should win, but the games that you feel that you should win, you've got to win.
Yeah.
That's because the other games, PSG, Juventus, Inter, Bayern.
Some huge hitters there, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is, yeah.
Okay, and of course I am 13 points behind, so I need a good season if I want to keep my head in this game before one of us either wins the Champions League or the time runs out. So let's have a look and get on with this season. Once again, my first opportunity of points was to beat Dad, and once again, we failed to do so, losing 2-1. My run in the Champions League, though, was a lot better, and we even defeated Inter Milan at the San Siro. For the second season in a row, we managed to secure a top 8 spot in the Champions League phase and go straight into the round of 16, only losing 1 match, while my dad safely secured a spot in the playoff round. In the French league, it was so tight at the top, however, with just 5 points separating myself in 6th and Lille in 2nd place. Back to the Champions League though, and Dad is even struggling to get to the round of 16 after losing in the away leg in Turin against Juventus 2-0. He did pull off a win in the second leg, but it still wasn't enough. I wasn't going much further in the competition either, as I unfortunately lost to AC Milan 6-2, who still have Francesco Camara up front, and he is still world class. It was a bad season for me, as Rennes knocked me out of the cup 3-2 thanks to a goal from a corner as well. And the misery for Lorient doesn't stop there, as we also lose to Dad's side 1-0 at home in the other league fixture. The only upside is that Dad couldn't win the Coupe de France this season because he was knocked out in the quarterfinals on penalties. Although it turned out I had a fantastic end to the league season and managed to leapfrog Dad into 3rd place and secure 2 more points. Well, I finished above you again, but we've dropped off.
Yes.
Because Lille have pinched that 2nd spot by 7 points as well.
Yeah.
So we've had a bit of a bad time, really.
Not too good, no, yeah. So, well, that's what it is, isn't it? You know, we're still in the Champions League next season, so
yeah,
I'm happy with that.
Yeah, that's positive. We're
still got to win to win.
Well, that's it. An instant win is the Champions League.
Yeah.
Not that we've become very close recently. Looks like Rennes won the Europa League this year. Ugh. Who would want to win that competition? 7 losses for me though, Dad. Both of them were against both fixtures against you were a bad loss for me.
Good.
So although I won 2 points again for finishing higher, you won 2 points. That means you just keep cancelling things out.
Yeah.
But it's all good because I won 10 points, obviously, for selling Amad Diallo.
Yeah.
And then guess what? Things get cancelled out again because if we go back in time to the Boban Lujic transfer, he's finally played enough games. £110 million, which means 5 extra points are added on.
Well, you can do what you want now, Liverpool. You can sell it.
So that's 10 points for Lujic, but 10 points for Diallo. You've just been cancelling out all my points recently. There we go. You finally got your full 10 points after he played 19 games this season. Only 7 starts. I feel sorry for him, really, because he hasn't really developed at all since he left you.
Should have stayed, my son.
Yeah.
Should have stayed.
Well, you sold him. It was your...
Well, yeah, true, yeah. I needed the 10 points.
I'm saying, because if it for that 10 points, I'd be in the lead right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so other competitions, obviously, you were knocked out of the playoff round by Juventus and the quarter-final by Nice in the Coupe de France. Neither of us did very well in cup competitions this year. As you can see, though, 2-1 loss to Juve, where I wasn't there, and that is because of that league phase. Fantastic performance, finishing in 4th place. Only losing to Munich.
The only game we lost out of that difficult.
Yeah.
That's a good result there.
Winning 6 in total. Beating Inter Milan and Juve, both in Italy.
Yeah, I couldn't beat Juventus. Could they beat
Solid. You lost against Inter Milan and Arsenal. You did draw against Besiktas and Red Bull Salzburg, which is a weird one for you. That's the two that you were expecting to win.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
And I think just one of those wins, turning those draws into a win, would have made you go in the top 8.
Disappointed with those 2 results,
yeah,
really.
Which meant you would have avoided the knockout playoff round, going straight to the round of 16, which is where I was eliminated by Milan. So I didn't get very further anyway because of that Milan fixture. Liverpool, they went on to win it. They beat Manchester City. So after beating me twice and winning last season, I think it was, because I had to play them, the season before, because I had to play them in the Europa League. Yeah. They've gone on and won it again. So fair play to them.
That's that player they bought off me, so it makes a difference when they play him.
Oh, yeah, off the bench. I did actually see as well, he wasn't even registered.
Wasn't he?
No. For the Champions League.
Oh,
so
dear.
he didn't even play in the Champions League because he weren't registered. Dad, let's look at your side. Is it going to be time
It's getting close now, isn't it?
to sell Gramada?
Yeah, it's 28. Oh, could well be. Could well be.
I think the trouble is I've hoarded all of the good strikers.
Yeah, you have,
That's come through, 19, 20-year-olds. So you're going to have to find somebody new.
I could take a chance on him one more season. Because at the end of the day, for me, it's just the money if I sell him now, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I might even keep him for one more season just to sort of like make sure I do well that season while I'm looking for another striker.
Then the season after that, you just cannot use him.
No.
So you have to get rid of him.
Yeah. It might force my hand. I might have to do it this season.
Yeah. He's only got 3 years left on his deal. It's a big question. Alcorta is probably putting his name in the hat as a replacement.
Yeah,
he doesn't
definitely.
have the mental attributes as a striker, but he definitely has the pace and the finishing ability.
The thing is, if I just lock him into that position, he'll get better at that, won't he?
You hope so.
Yeah.
You do hope so. But do you go for Henry Diallo? He's been out on loan this season. He had 25 goals for the second team last year, 10 goals in this division for Nancy, who, let's be fair, they're not very good, 16th in the league.
Yeah.
Could he be in with a shout?
He's not bad, actually.
No. Romain Jean has done quite well in terms of development as well.
Yeah.
The likes of Kenneth Winderkill is probably thinking, well, once I was your top scorer, getting 15 goals. But this season, mate, you only got 2. So probably not, because I know what my dad's like. So there we go. But there's no players really that are stepping up and saying, pick me instead. You've got a lot of players in here that I think maybe you need to clear out. Maybe you need to look into what you're going to do to replace him. You got £8 million. And the reason why, what we think is the reason why, is the debts and loans are huge because of the new stadium.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice for the team. They've got a brand new stadium, and it always affects the team for a couple of years afterwards.
Finances after.
So, I mean, I could have done with them doing it 3 or 4 seasons later, but there we go.
Yeah, the Nantes Stadium was built.
Looks nice.
It does. Instead, then, let's have a look at the squad for me.
Love the black kit they've got.
It's a nice kit. To be fair, I'm a big fan of the home kit, you know.
Yeah.
I do like that home kit. The yellow and green I'm not normally a fan of, but I don't mind that at all.
Oh, I like the black kit. I do like that shirt.
Yeah, I agree. It's a nice kit. 2 nice kits. And I don't really like the Lorient orange one, but the black one's not too bad. Speaking of my Lorient side, the strikers haven't scored as many goals this year.
That is a big surprise.
Yeah, but they're so spread out.
That's the thing, isn't it? You know, they've all playing at different times, really.
Yeah, so I'm still happy. The development is still there.
Yeah.
Capullo, I just think is.
I think if you had locked two strikers in position, I think they would both probably have scored in the 30s.
Maybe, yeah. I want to see this guy's development. So just in the last 12 months alone, you can see there's been a bit of a development in there. But all time, there's been a lot of development, and I'm really happy with that. Because of that couple of good seasons he's had. George Power as well has come on quite nicely. Some good players in there. Jose Lucas got 14 assists this season, so that's been quite entertaining to see. Urkel, of course, came into the side as Diallo's replacement. Hasn't gone up from that 2-star player yet. Doesn't look too bad, though, but his performances, you can't knock it. 12 assists.
No.
It's really good still. 7 goals, 12 assists.
I'll tell you what, I'm looking at your strike force. You've got the strike force to win the Champions League.
Yeah.
It's the rest of the team you need.
Yes, well, defence, I'm kind of like, in a couple of years, my defence is going to be brilliant.
It could be there, yeah.
My midfield, I think Moraga is almost there. He looks fantastic for me.
Yeah, I think you're looking in a stronger position than me, really.
The physical attributes are there. It's just, there's some players that I think I need a couple of gaps. I just need, or a couple of years.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Will time run out, though, for me?
I don't know.
Because that's the thing. We're on season 8 or 9 now.
Yeah.
Season 9, in fact. So there's only 4 seasons left after
You
this.
need a little bit of luck as well, don't you? You need the bigger team to sort of have a bit of a dip or lose against each other, and you just come in the back door, really, and have an easier run in, really.
Yeah, or do I try and win on points and take a gamble? Because there's a lot of money going on there.
There's a lot. That's a big thing, isn't it? You could get to season 12 and you could be like 12 points behind, 13 points behind. You sell 2 players, you're 8-9 points in front.
Capullo only cost me £12 million. I think João Pereira was 3.5.
We're going to get to that last season, and both of us are going to have
got no players left.
Just sold all our best players.
No, I promise I won't do that. But anyway, the CDM that I brought through had a good lot of games off the bench. Maybe needed more. I don't know. But I've got £27 million, so I do have a little bit more. I also have a sell-on clause for Amad Diallo, by the way. If they ever do decide to sell him, I could 20% of profit. So if anybody buys him for over 117 million, I get 20% of it. You just never know.
That ain't gonna happen, is it?
You just never know. But okay, An interesting season number 9 there. We didn't really do much in terms of the competitions, but the progress that we could have in the next couple of years, the problems we could have in the next couple of years, is making next season ever more interesting. But let's have a look at the points. Yes, in season number 9, with the sell of Ahmed Diallo, Omega Luke wins 12 points, and Omega Dad now has 7 points thanks to 5 from Lujic, which means the total points is Omega Luke with 38 and Omega Dad with 46. So with 8 points between us, things can change real quick as we enter the 10th season of Youth to Gold.